Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Coffee in Hand. I'm your host, Erica Lamberto, and today with me is Francesca Scorzafava. She is the owner of BurnToneSculpt and Rosie's Juice Bar. I'm so excited to have you with me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And I just want to kind of get the backstory of, where you grew up.
Mhm.
Are you from this area?
Yes, I am. So I actually am born and raised in New Hartford, New York. I went to New Hartford High School. I left for a little stint, went away for college, decided I wanted to come back home, finished my degree at Utica College, and I stayed here afterward.
That's incredible. And what inspired you to open your fitness studio?
So, two people inspired me, actually. I was an athlete in high school. I played lacrosse and basketball. And during this, I also ran a lot, and my knees were starting to bother me. So, I went to the doctor, and they said my knees were misaligned, my kneecap a lot of info, but my kneecap was pulling to one side rather than upward. So what the fix was to do Pilates. At that time, I was introduced to two people, Sydney Cyphers and Kim Finelli. Sydney Cyphers taught bar, but her husband was playing for the Comets and he was going to retire. So he was moving back to Vermont and she asked me to take over her class. So I got certified in bar and I started teaching her class. During that time, I also was working with Kim Finelli on The Reformer, and that's where I fell in love with reformer Pilates. And after that, I decided to start doing some programs at a different place in town, actually in Bloom Yoga, which will be our future neighbor. And I just, had a lot of success with it. So I decided to kind of take it and run. And I decided to open up my own studio.
That's incredible. And you opened in 2020
We did.
during the pandemic.
Hmm.
What was that like for you as, you know,
Yeah.
first time business owner? Did you encounter like any obstacles
We
going through?
absolutely did. So I was in the middle of a program in Bloom at the time. It was March. It was like mid-March when we shut down. So I decided to take the program and turn it virtual. So I finished out the month of March for my people virtually. We did videos online. We streamed, so on and so forth. And then I decided I'd turn it into a Facebook group. So I had a Facebook group and it was just all videos of like workouts that people could do at home. And there was probably almost 900 people in the group. It was free, but it was really fun, and everyone was really excited and posting on Instagram. I think we still have a reel on our Burn Tone Sculpt Instagram of that time where everyone's like home in the pandemic in their pajamas doing Pilates. So it was really awesome. And then I announced we would be opening a studio. I started virtually because of the pandemic. So I started with an on demand membership. It was $9.99. You got a bunch of videos. I uploaded every week. And then once we got ready to actually be able to open, we opened social distanced, wore the masks, all the good stuff. But it definitely brought new obstacles. You had to be creative and kind of figure out new ways to earn money to pay for your rent without actually being there in person. And, just like everything else in the pandemic, everything went virtual and we did too. And to this day, we still are. We still have virtual classes. Now I believe every class on our schedule is virtual, offered virtually. So it's hybrid in person and on Zoom.
And doing it that way, have you acquired like any out of state clients by chance?
Yes.
I feel like that's a cool option with the virtual is you can kind of reach nationwide and it doesn't restrict you just here
Yeah.
specifically to the area.
We have a client that comes to mind that had lived in New Hartford. She moved away, lives in, I believe, Nashville, and she still streams to this day. And it's just so much fun because she said there's not really a studio in town that's similar to what we do. And she still gets to kind of be involved and be at Burn Tone Sculpt without actually physically being here.
And that's incredible, and I feel like it just goes to show the type of, community you built, like, within BurnToneSculpt
Thank
and just, like, uplifting women, and
you.
what has that been like for you, like, being a part of this community and maybe doing outreach or,
Hmm.
I feel like I see you doing, different events that really, like,
Yeah.
empower other women,
Thank
or, I've seen you also, like, worked with, like, local law enforcement too and doing
Mhm.
classes for them if you wanna touch a little
Yeah,
bit on just
yeah.
kind of
We have a
that
lot of
aspect.
involvement in the community, from mom groups to Galentine's to the police academy, basketball teams, softball teams, we've kinda had it all. There's even some people who've reached out to do some team bonding, like, for their company. They'll come in and do team bonding, and they'll do a class together. So, we've had a lot of opportunity to kinda make something really special, and, yes, it's a workout, but when you get a lot of people in the same room that have similarities, like, really magical things happen and relationships start, and maybe that one mom who feels very alone no longer does. So, there's a lot of nice things that you can do with a community and a platform, and we're really lucky. We have a good reach, which gives us the opportunity to do more and just be there as, like, a constant for the community and put on these events and kinda just, continue to grow not only ourselves, but the community outreach and do things for those women and men, to make their lives better.
On that note, we always do, like, team building, usually, like, every 6 months with, like, our team Calabria here, and we have, like, an all-female staff, and we'll definitely
Oh
have
my
to
god,
reach out about doing,
that'd be so
maybe, like,
fun.
a team building,
Yeah.
workout group class.
Plus price.
Yes, yeah, yes, I'm sure he would enjoy that, but I just think that would be something that would be, like, really fun for all the girls to do
Yeah,
too.
it is, it's so fun. It really is, and it's, like, hard and you're struggling, but it's fun to do together.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
And just to touch too, because I know you said, like, when you initially opened, it was virtual, and then
Mhm.
obviously, like, as the pandemic kind of came to an end and you were like slowly, you had to adhere to like the 6 feet apart stickers and the masks. And
Yeah.
we opened like right at the tail end of that. So when we initially opened our doors in 2021, we had like the 6 feet apart stickers and
Uh,
like the shields and masks. And obviously, like, keeping everything super clean was like
Mhm.
part of that. What do you feel like that was like, once it was like, "Okay, we're moving past this," and, like, you're opening your doors and people are coming in,
Mhm.
what was that like for you, like, post-pandemic? And, like, I feel like people were obviously, like, very isolated,
Yeah.
so being able to, like, be around other people and
Mm.
groups like that, I feel like that would have, like, a really positive impact
Yeah.
on people's just, like, their livelihoods, their mental and physical health, like, if you got any type of, like, feedback
Mhm.
when you initially
Yeah,
started.
I think we did. So, I know some people just didn't like working out in masks, like, that just was not their thing, so they weren't coming until that was no longer something they had to adhere to. So I think our community naturally grew at that point as well. But it was, again, a place to gather. I think there was definitely some discomfort in taking the mask off for some people, but we still had our social distancing, all the good stuff, but it was nice to feel like life was kinda coming back to normal and society was back into its normal kinda swing and routine of things, able to leave your house like you said, not stare at a computer all day, not have to, isolate yourself and all those things that, we had to go through at that time. So, yeah, I think that sense of community kinda just naturally came back around.
Yeah, I just remember when we, like, initially, like, opened and
Yeah.
how, like, people were just so excited to, like, start going out again, and
Mhm.
just how, like, freeing that was and, like, refreshing, like, to be able to, like, just start going back out again and, like, interacting with other people. So I was just curious because 'cause I'm like, you're obviously, like, you're doing something physically that are making people's endorphins and, like,
Yeah,
making them, like, feel good, and,
yeah. Mm,
just that's, like, an awesome,
yeah.
you know
Yeah, I think in one sense, like, COVID was good for us too because we did think about, going virtual and thinking
Mhm.
outside of the box and offering something new. And we got that reach, and people couldn't leave their house. So, really, a lot of people leaned into health and wellness and fitness, and they got outside and, they did those workouts. And without that, I don't know that our brand would have kind of reached as far as it had at that point because, like I said, there were over 800 to almost 900 people in the Facebook group alone. So that means that that many people, hopefully, were doing the workouts. So they got to kinda
Right.
try it for free before they actually came into the doors. I think that was really special.
What has been so now you're 5, almost 6 years, actually. You'll be
Yeah,
celebrating
6
this
years.
year.
Yep, this month.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
What do you feel like has been the most rewarding aspect of, like, your business for you?
Honestly, it's special to hear the feedback of like, "This has changed my life." That's always, my favorite thing to hear. Um, "You got me out of the house, you got me into a new routine, you got me to" not that it was me, it was always them, but, "I got to meet new people here, I feel better about myself." Another client comes to mind who, during one class, she left the room the first time, and now she does 2 classes in a row. It's just like seeing their growth is so amazing. And now that we have such a great platform, like I had mentioned before, that we get to do all these events, you see even more of a difference of what you're doing for the community. And it's a special thing, and not everyone gets that opportunity. So when you do, it's very eye opening.
I think that's fantastic, and obviously, like, you've expanded and grown your team,
Yeah.
and you have the reformer Pilates now, which I
Yeah.
know I've been talking about this for probably, like, 2 years or however long you've had it now, that I definitely wanna come in and try
Yeah.
that just because I do love
Fun.
Pilates, but I've never tried the reformer.
Mhm.
So that's something I think is, just awesome
Yeah.
to be able to, like, grow and offer different kinds of,
Mhm.
workouts and just kind of expand
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Um, and you also own Rosie's Juice Bar.
Yep. Yep.
And I want to just talk about, what inspired you to open that and just kind of, add on. Obviously, it's always exciting to expand your business and
Yeah.
just what inspired that.
Yeah, so I was freshly a new mom when I had this idea. I was in a bar class and I knew Subway was leaving. They were next to us. They were ending their lease and I was just standing there. I was thinking like I would love to have a healthy place next to us. It'd be so great if like something healthy went next door. And then I was in this bar class and I'm like, we could use more space in here. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna expand and take over next door and add that healthy place that I wanna have. So, the name is named after my daughter, Rosalina, so it's named Rosie's, and we will be dropping our juice bar, and we will be just turning into Rosie's and turning into a cafe when we move and are your future neighbor.
I know. I'm so excited about this. And
It's gonna be so
congratulations
great.
on that too.
Thank
That's super
you.
exciting.
Thank you.
Obviously with, Cavallo's, now it's been a vacant space for a couple years now. So we're super excited to have someone new come into the neighborhood or, you're not new to the area, but
Yeah.
new to
Right.
the village, I should say. But yeah, we're like super excited for you.
Mhm.
And do you want to touch on, kind of how you will be expanding and what
Yeah.
people can
Sure.
expect in the near future?
Absolutely, yes. So, we're gonna keep BurnToneSculpt and Rosie's together, but they'll still be kinda separated. Right now, to get to the studio, you walk through Rosie's. It will no longer be that way. You can go just to one or the other, or you can still go to both. They'll be separated, but also together. So, it'll be cool. Rosie's will have an expanded menu. We'll keep everything that you already know and love, like our juices and smoothies, and then we'll be expanding into the food area. So, we'll have acai bowls, breakfast sandwiches, salads, wraps, sandwiches, lots of little bites. That was one thing I love. I'm a snacker.
Yeah.
And so I like to have bites like avocado toast and hummus and vegetables and just have like health conscious foods. But we'll also have the bad stuff too that everyone loves once in a while to treat yourself. But we're going to be health focused. So we'll have those options for people who really do want something that's healthy. Ooh, sorry.
No, you're
That's
good.
my mic. That's healthy and quick and easy, but you can get at a restaurant. So we're really excited to have all those offerings come. I think it'll be really great for the community.
And for people who aren't familiar with your fitness studio,
Yeah.
what types of classes could people expect to find if they, wanted to come try something out?
We do everything almost. So we have our reformers, which are great. We have 5 reformers. We also do private sessions or classes for those. And then in the mat room, we do mat sculpt, which is almost like a Pilates. It's a sculpt based workout. So light weights, bands, balls, Pilates principles, but we do other moves too. It's not just like strictly Pilates. And then we've got boot camp, which is like a higher intensity cardio. You've got strength, which is a weight focused class. You've got hot pit, which is heated and it's a high intensity interval training. Um, we do a heated class every night of the week. That was something that we brought to the area that no one really had before. And yeah, we've got about everything. The one thing that we're adding are the megaformers when we move over. So those are similar to a reformer machine, but it's a different workout. So its principles are strength based. It's more of like a strength training workout rather than a Pilates focused workout. Reformer, most of my girls are balanced body certified, which is the brand of our machines. And it's a contemporary Pilates style. So we do follow the principles of Joseph Pilates, but, we don't follow his routine entirely. We get a little creative with our moves, so typically you won't go to the same class twice. You may, but usually there's something that will change every time.
And if someone wanted to, book one of your classes, do you wanna just tell people where they can find
Yeah.
you on, like, social media and your website, or how best to go about that?
Yeah. So at BurnToneSculpt, to book a class, typically we'll put a link on some of our posts, but the best way is just go to the right to the website, and then there's a link book a class in there. You'll see our full schedule. It breaks it down by day, and then by class, you can pick your spot. It's dark in there, so no one has to feel uncomfortable by going. No one's gonna look at you, I promise. And yeah, that's the best way. Once you book your first class, you get invited to a personalized app that we have. So our app is called Moments, and then you'll have your profile in there and you can track everything right there.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And I know you mentioned that, you recently, had a daughter,
Mhm.
and I just wanted to see, what it's been like for you balancing, being a business owner and a mom.
Yeah.
Obviously, you said, like, she inspired you to
Yeah.
take on, a secondary business as well,
Mhm.
and just kinda what that transition has been
Yeah,
like.
thank you. Yeah, so pre-Rosie, I was in the corporate world as well. I also own another business called Upstate Bookkeeping. So I actually own 3 different businesses, all of which are helping people. But I also worked in the corporate world. I was a financial controller for a company, remotely. I had stepped away from that while Rosie was still pretty young. And I decided to kinda go all in on myself, and the reason was fulfillment, I think, more than anything, creating a culture that, you're in control of rather than you're affected by was a big one for me, and I like to make sure that, the culture at all of my companies are happy, and anything that you do that may be wrong can be fixed, and that's something that I've learned at a very young age. I think I was 20 when my first manager taught me that, everything's fixable. And you're not gonna cause someone to be ill, everything that you do can be fixed. So it's not worth, getting upset about it. Just move on and do it better next time. So yeah, I definitely made a huge life change at that time. But I love being a business owner, it's very fulfilling. I'm happy that Rosie can see her mom work hard, and do things that make her happy. So, it's rewarding. But yeah, now I have a lot more flexibility in my schedule than I did before. I spend a lot of my day doing accounting and then, mornings and nights and time in between all intertwined into one big life is, Rosie's and the studio, and I have a lot of help from my team, of course, but
Well, I think it goes back to, like, you're the only person that can limit yourself, like, whatever, like, goals and dreams and aspirations you have,
Mhm.
like, just go for it. It's like you never know unless you take that, like, risk or
Yeah.
that leap,
Mhm.
and I think it's just incredible that, you're able to,
Thank you.
you know, be an owner in 3 different businesses and, your daughter gets to see
Yeah.
her mom, as she grows up and, thriving and just doing amazing and expanding and
Yeah.
continue to, like, challenge yourself.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Eric, my husband, is really great with her and helps well, it's his daughter, so I shouldn't say help, but is very involved in everything that we do, and we have a lot of balance between one another with both of our schedules, and my mom and his parents and our great babysitter all, help us out so much. As you know, it takes a village.
Yeah, say definitely, like, teamwork and,
Yeah.
like, tapping the other person in when you, like, need a minute and,
Yep.
you know
Yep. Yep. Absolutely, yeah, but as you said, time goes by regardless of what you do with it, so you might as well do what you really love to do.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And I feel like, I feel like when you work in the corporate world, it's like, that loyalty, it's, not it's always, like, fleeting, right? Like, I
Yeah.
feel like you're always seen as, like, replaceable or, like,
Mhm.
you're not valued as much. I mean, not for every job, I shouldn't say, I don't wanna, like,
Oh, I think
specify,
that's
but
pretty accurate. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I was on an executive team, and it took not very long, to figure out what they're gonna do next, but it's understandable. Business has to keep going, and regardless of who you are, you may be really, really, really great at your job, but in order for that, company to keep going and keep their boots on the ground, they need to figure it out too, so you absolutely are replaceable in the corporate world, but you're not replaceable at home.
Right.
So,
And
yeah.
I think, like, the hardest thing is just, like, actually, like, taking those first steps to, like, step away,
Oh,
like, make
absolutely.
that decision to
Yeah.
go out on your own and,
Mhm. You
I
build
mean,
a
there's
whole
pros and
life.
cons. Yes,
You
yep.
build a whole life based on what you're going to do when you grow up, and when that picture changes, it's an uncomfortable seat, but one that once you actually make the steps and you do what makes you happy and you step away from the life you thought you wanted, you kinda see a lot, like, it comes a lot clearer of what's important.
And it's, like, more rewarding at the end of the day too, even if it comes with more challenges,
Yeah.
not to say I mean, being a business owner, there's always, unexpected things that you encounter more days than not, and,
Yeah.
but pros and cons, and it's, like, at the end of the day, it's so rewarding, I feel like being a part of this community and just getting to know other business owners and other people, and,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
it's just such a wonderful environment to
Yeah,
be in.
yeah. Everything is hard, you just have to choose what hard you want.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, maybe it's spending all day at work, or maybe it's working every day of the year because you own your own business. It's just everything looks different, but it's really the way that it feels at the end of the day for you, like, it has to be worth it. If you're gonna take time away from your family and your children, it has to really feel worth it, and when it starts to not, it's time to make a change.
And I was gonna say, obviously, I have 2 children of my own, and your perspective starts to change once have kids and a family, and,
Yeah.
you kind of start to realize, like, what's most important in life, and
Mhm.
you kind of shift your priorities, and,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like they're the number one priority, and everything
Mhm.
else just kinda revolves around that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and if you asked me, 20 years ago, I guess I should say, like, 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have told you that my life would be this way. I would never
Mhm.
have expected to start a restaurant, really. At the end of the day, it's what it is. But I was looking back today at my Snapchat memories, and 7 years ago, I must have been filling out something for grad school, and it said, "What does your life look like in 10 years?" And it said, "Running a fitness studio chain and working in the corporate world." So, I'm essentially doing that. I have my fantastic bookkeeping clients. Some are very small, some are larger, and I get to help them run their businesses and kinda make great financial decisions for them, and continue to grow and employ other people. And I'd say like 99.9% of them have a touch back to home, whether it be they were from here, or their parents were from here, or they live here now, or they were referred from someone that lives here. That business is essentially totally grown from this county.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And if some are you still looking for, like, new clients?
Yeah, so we're still evolving, and yes, we still take new clients on. I have a couple people who work for me there, small team. So yes, we still take clients there too.
And if someone was interested in becoming a client or getting more
Yeah.
information on that, what would be the best way for them to, like, contact you or your team?
UpstateBBS.com is our website for that. I swear I'm not too busy for you. I probably sound like I'm all over the place, but yeah, we have a wonderful team. We're all super really passionate about accounting and helping out where we can. So that'd be a great place to find us. You can get a free consult.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
What's your favorite thing to do when you're not working?
Oh my goodness, I love to travel. So, but on my vacations, I do exactly what I love to do, which is go to fitness studios and cool cafes and cool coffee shops and, like, experience life that way, and that's where I get a lot of my ideas and, inspiration. So, I'm going away in a week or 2 to see my sister and my brother in Florida. We'll spend Easter there, and while I'm there, I'm already just looking up places I wanna go and things I wanna try, and I'm sure I'll bring a lot of it back to Utica and New Hartford and, add it to the menu.
That's so exciting. And, with your new location, do you have like an estimated opening date that people can be like looking forward to?
Yeah, we're hoping for September, but sometime in the fall is really what we're planning on. Construction always takes a little bit longer than intended, so
Yes, we've experienced that because we were during the pandemic, so everything took. I think we ended up being in construction for 8 months, I want to say.
goodness.
So it was a whole process.
Yeah.
And, it's also it's a good process. It'll be like so exciting to see,
Yeah.
the renovations you make. I know I'm like very, very much looking forward
Thank
to
you.
it.
Yeah, we're so excited. We're excited to bring a new vibe, kinda like a new vision, something that I really don't think we have here, but we're hoping to make it, like, really, just a cool place, like somewhere you wanna be and have a snack or a meal and just kinda hang out and get together with friends.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Is there anything like new or exciting coming up that you want to share, like, or any upcoming events or
Um,
collaborations?
yeah, so we are doing a mom event, but it is sold out already. So if you want to join, you can add to the wait list. That one's in April. We will most likely also be doing something at Twin Ponds in the coming months. So look out for that one. And there are a couple other things that will come up here and there, but nothing set in stone yet.
Well, before I let you go, I always have to ask, what's your go-to coffee drink? Coffee or tea, I should say. You're
So
doing some matcha today?
this is amazing. This matcha is fantastic. Clara got new matcha and it's amazing. But typically I am a hot latte with oat milk girl. Sometimes if I want a little extra something, I put maple syrup in it. That's it.
I love that. And thank you so much for coming on today. I cannot wait for your new location and for us to be
Yeah.
neighbors. Just all good things to come. And obviously, thank you everyone so much for listening. And we'll catch you next month.